Happy Monday, Striver. You can change. You can improve things. And we need you to come alive and to participate and to lead. Build yourself up. Arise, champion. The world awaits your awakening, your fire, your growth, your leadership. The time is now, and I am walking by your side with full faith and confidence in you. You see, I believe each Monday we must mobilize ourselves. I believe each day it is job one to summon the best of who we are. And sometimes we forget to do that. We get down on ourselves. We get caught up. We get overwhelmed. We get myopic and we narrow in on the problems of our life and we forget, hey, I'm building myself up. I need to arise. I need to summon something in myself. Not just because I want to improve my life here in Growth Day. I love that we are all making self-improvement a way of life, but also because the world awaits your awakening. You think, no, Brendan, no one's waiting for me. What are you talking about? No, see, I'm somebody who believes that we all share a little bit of a universal mind, a little bit of a common heart, something that is higher than all of us, but part of all of us, something you might call consciousness. You might call it some kind of amazing quantum field of energy, and all the particles are going through all of us at the same time since the cosmos burst into existence. But to me, it's imperative that each of us improves, not just because we need to do that in our own life to earn more, to be better parents, better caregivers, better leaders, but for humanity. For the reason that we do self-improvement is so that we can also do social improvement. That personal development can lead to social development. That our hard work in our own character can improve our culture. And I think sometimes we forget that. We're just trying to get our to-do list done on Mondays, Brendan. Please don't hit me with your philosophy and your big picture leadership stuff. I'm just trying to pay the bills and get through the week. Well, I know that. But at some point, you're going to wake up one day and say, the time is now. I have to enlarge and expand myself for my family, for my community, for the world. For a lot of people, it never hits. They never sense that purpose, that mission, that change, because life is hard. We suffer. There's pain. And worse, we actually feel separate than that universal mind or that universal stream, or that bigger picture, that consciousness, or even separate from one another or God. And so now we struggle so much because we think that we're solo. We think, oh, well, they don't understand because my journey is so unique. This has been something I repeat over and over and over for now, almost 20 years, sharing the most difficult news and reality to everyone I'm blessed to teach. I do get a lot of criticism and judgment for it because I say it so often, and it can sound harsh. But my job is to be a coach, not just a buddy who listens. I'm by your side coaching you and helping you remember your personal power, your strength, your ability to be self-reliant, your ability to have high agency in life, where you assert yourself, where you push yourself, where you build yourself. And one of the hardest lessons that I have to teach people is that no matter what you're going through, do not throw yourself a pity party that long in the belief that you are alone. You can say, well, I don't have friends. I don't have a supportive group. I'm not in your ultra, Brendan. I can't afford it. Oh, well, I can't, go to school, or I don't have, wealthy peers, or I don't have access to this, or I don't have access to that. Inevitably, most of us have experienced those truths, and I always acknowledge them. Everybody walks a difficult road at some point. For many people, it's mental, emotional. Some people it's physical. Some people it's spiritual. Some people it's with their relationships or their sense of themselves. And yet, what I do know is, with no offense at all, on your Monday, you're not that unique. It sounds so terrible to tell somebody that. Well, thanks for the motivation, Brendan. You're telling me I'm like everybody else. I go, I find that particularly motivating. I love that there's nothing I'm going to face this week that others haven't faced. It gives me a confidence in life because it goes, oh, somebody figured this out. Some days it looks so difficult in our lives. We think, well, no one's ever had to juggle a job or this type of job or this type of family or this type of reality with my children or this health issue or this bankruptcy or this time that I'm struggling through or this in-law or that enemy. And yet, I've never been able to find proof when someone tells me that, ever. Coaching people for 20 years, training literally millions around the world, in 190 countries around the world, I've never heard of a genuinely unique situation. I know that each situation can be called unique, and it does look specific. But what I mean by this argumentation I'm trying to make here today is that whatever you're going through, somebody, somewhere, is actually going through that now or has gone through that something so incredibly similar that maybe it looks like a specific isn't real in their life, but you realize that the bigger picture or the bigger problem or the bigger challenge or the route out has already been figured out. You know, sometimes I would bemoan, different, eras of my business or my personal brand or, many of the businesses we've invested in or run or advised, and many of them grew from literally nothing to multi-billion-dollar companies. And in that journey, well, no one understands this issue or that issue. And whenever I saw a founder do that, I'd have to remind them on their Monday, actually, a lot of people have solved this problem, like a tremendous number. It's time to do some Googling. It's time to do some research. It's time to ask some friends. It's time to be assertive in reaching out to other people who have solved this problem. And I've been in this in the most intimate and direct and difficult ways. I've been with people as they've lost their parents to some disease or a family member was wasting away under some health issue. I've been with this when somebody was losing it all. I've been with this when somebody themselves lost something incredibly important. I've been with this when somebody lost limbs. I've been with this when somebody has been cheated on, when people have been stolen from, when people have been unfairly accused. And we get all of those experiences in our life and we think, why does this happen to me? But we say, why does this happen only to me? What I get inspired by is, well, it's not happening only to you. It's probably happened to, a couple million people, if not a billion plus people. In the history of humanity, we're not going through a lot of things in our family, our businesses, our career, and certainly our inner psyche that other people haven't also gone through. It's why I love learning so much. It's why I read so many biographies of extraordinary people, because I read these biographies and think, wow, they've gone through incredibly depths of hardship. And almost every time I read anything, I can realize they've gone through more difficulties than myself. I can keep perspective. And someone would say, well, you're discounting the reality. I go, oh no, the pain is real, isn't it, my friend? The suffering is real. The challenge, the dark nights, the difficulties. And like I said, the feeling that we are solo is there. My takeaway was, don't let that pity party last too long. That's it. I'm not saying it's not true. I'm not saying it's not difficult. I'm not saying you might not know anybody right now who's dealing with something similar, but you can reach out, you can find, you can research. And this is important because is there anything this week that you're just not going after because you just feel like you're all alone? No one understands. I'm going through this by myself. And because, see, when you really believe that, you become disempowered. You have all the excuses in the world not to try. If you believe that you're down at the bottom of a well and there's no one else down there, no one else ever been down there, and no one else around to hear you, of course, you can be incredibly terrified, discouraged. You think you're all alone. We often forget, though, usually at the top of that well, there's a mass of people around. We just don't shout out. We don't call out. We don't climb up, raise our hand, ask for or scream for an appropriate level of help for the situation that we're in. And so I'm just encouraging you that even today, you might not know it, but I'm in this room by myself. I'm thinking about you. You, here, in this moment. You might be out for your morning walk. You might be thinking about the day. You might be on your drive. There's people thinking about you. People thinking about you in specific ways and in general ways. Your heart, those feelings you have, other people have that. And in that truth rests some sense of hope, some sense of desire of camaraderie, and understanding that we could actually rise together. And even if you don't believe it, there's hundreds of thousands of people who are in Growth Day who said, you know what? I want to improve my life. I want to get better. I want to learn. I want to grow so I can be a better parent. They're dealing with the same challenges in their family. They're dealing with the same challenges in their business. It might not look like it, but you have to understand there's millions of people around the world who just right now in this moment are engaging in their own journey of personal development, just like you are. Maybe they're reading a book and they're not in Growth Day. Or maybe they were watching another training of mine or one of our other teachers somewhere. Or maybe they're journaling about the same topic that you thought about this morning. You're not alone. Humanity is trying to solve problems. You're not alone. There's people out there who are trying to grow. They're struggling through too. The thing is, we have to remember, a lot of them are struggling through just like we are, and they're keeping that optimism. They're keeping that faith. They're keeping that forward lean. They're keeping that assertiveness. They're holding their ambitions and their dreams and that horizon line of what's possible. They're holding that close. They're holding it to their heart. They still believe. It's Monday. You have to still believe that you're not just striving alone, that there's all of us striving. I always love to say, it's like, hey, listen, if you have to run out on the field of battle all by yourself, it's so scary. But if you understand there's an army to your left and to your right, and there's a common march, a common charge. Right now, there is a common charge of literally a new age dawning upon us of millions of people who are making self-improvement a way of life because they want to get better. They want to learn. They want to become more conscious. They want to become more successful, more enlightened, more generous, more giving, more loving. You're not the only person with faith in your heart. You're not the only person with dreams in your heart. You got to imagine, I was just thinking about it. It's Monday. I know that literally billions of people woke up just like me today. They got a dream. They're going to reach out. They're going to try. They're going to push themselves out of bed, push themselves into the car, push themselves to the computer, push themselves to work, push themselves out into the world to try and build a better life. There's billions of people right now, this Monday, going to build a better life. You're part of that journey. You're part of that army. You're part of Growth Day. So I will say it again. This is not a random thing. You have the option. You have the ability. You can change. You can improve things. And we need you to come alive and to participate and lead. Because when you are alive and you are participating and you are leading, you are on the field. You're next to us. We see you. You give us that hope. You give us that inspiration. You are building yourself up. It feels like we are doing this together. So arise, champion. It is Monday. The world awaits your awakening. They're to your left. They're to your right. They're in front. They're in back. They're facing the same problems and challenges. And they see you do it with your head held high. We want you to tap into your fire. We want you to grow. We want you to lead. The time is now, and I am walking by your side on that field. We are part of this army. We are part of this crew. We are part of this team. We are part of Growth Day, and we know with full faith and confidence we are improving our lives because we want to change this world, and we're going to do it because every day is a great day to grow together. Now, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to share this daily fire with somebody in your world. If they're not in Growth Day, send them to growthday.com. They can start a free trial. If you know somebody who is struggling, they're alone, they don't believe, they don't have that energy, give them a plus up today. Give them this. Give them the gift of growth. Give them some energy today. They are not alone. You sharing simple things like this can be that spark for somebody's day, somebody's motivation, somebody's life. Be that gift. Be that agent of change. Be that ambassador of possibility in other people's lives. Lead, lead, lead. Share Growth Day. All right, if you love this daily fire today, quick reminder, Comment on it down below. What did you learn? What do you think? What do you have to share? This is about social learning in Growth Day. We learn from each other. We have that humility to learn from each other, but we also have that service leadership mindset where we want to share our life lessons with one another. So what have you learned about this topic? Put it in the comments down below and then get your growth streak.